Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, September 12th, 2023 meeting of the Ashland Zoning Board of Appeals. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, this public meeting is available in remote form. And please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast by WACA, our local cable television channel. As indicated on the agenda notice, the link to the meeting is posted both online and via telephone. First order of business will be to call the meeting to order. Take a roll call. I, John Trefethen, am present.
I, Nathan Band, am present.
I, Stuart Siegel, am present.
Okay, very good. Next item on the agenda is election of officers. Pursuant to Chapter 40A, Section 12, a zoning board of appeals shall elect annually a chairman from its own number and a clerk. Because our terms start on September 1st, this is our first meeting in the new year, and thus we have to have an election. The chairman and the clerk must be members, but associate members are also allowed to participate and vote in the election process. Any questions or discussion about that?
Are we allowed to nominate members not present today?
That's a very good question. I see no reason why we can't. However, that's not something that is addressed in the statute. It might prove reason for people to make sure they attend the meeting so it doesn't happen to them, but I don't know. With all that levity being said, would somebody like to make a motion or nominate someone to be chairman for the coming year?
I nominate John Trefethen to serve another term as chairman for the coming year.
I second that nomination.
Okay. All in favor say, I guess aye. I, John Trefethen, vote aye.
I, Nathan Band, vote aye.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote aye.
Okay, and next we have the position of clerk. Would anyone like to nominate someone to be clerk? I would nominate Nathan Band to be clerk. Is there a second?
I would second that if Nathan wants that position.
Sure.
Given the fact that we always have the services now of Alvaro or the assistant town planner, I'm not quite sure what the clerk's duties are anymore for us. So I guess in lieu of Alvaro not showing up some night, you'll have to step in and run the meeting. But I, John Trefethen, vote in favor of Nathan as clerk.
I, Nathan Band, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, also vote in favor.
Excellent. Now that we have all of those formalities out of the way, and thank you for nominating me once again, I guess. We'll go on to item number 3 on the agenda, which is a public hearing involving 29 Hardwick Road and their application for a special permit. The notice was published in the Metro West Daily News over the course of 2 weeks, and I'll read the notice briefly. The Ashland Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing to hear the petition from Michael and Marjorie Ra of the Ra Living Trust. They actually are trustees of the Ra Living Trust, requesting an accessory family dwelling unit special permit per Chapter 40A, Section 6 of the Massachusetts Zoning Act, and Chapter 282, Section 7.6, parenthesis, accessory family dwelling unit, close parenthesis, and 9.3, parenthesis, special permits, close parenthesis, of the Ashland bylaws. The property in question is located at 29 Hardwick Road, Assessors Map 19, lot 01900-0037 in the residential A zoning district. As previously noted before we started the meeting, I note that Mr. and Mrs. Ra are present, and also Steve Camoli. Who is going to be making the presentation on behalf of the applicant? Whoops.
Sorry about that. I will, Steve.
Okay. Let me just explain a little bit about the process that we're going to have. We always ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to state their case, as it were, and tell us whatever it is they would like us to consider. Board members will have an opportunity to ask questions thereafter. Once that is concluded, we will open it up to the public for public comment. I see that at the moment we have one member of the public observing the meeting. Once that is done, the members will have an opportunity to ask any additional questions. The applicant will have an opportunity to state anything further that he or she wishes to state. And then the board will discuss the matter and see where we go. Three members or three people, board members, sit on the hearing, and fortunately we have three this evening. So I, John Trefethen, Nathan Band, and Stuart Siegel, our associate member, will be sitting on the hearing this evening. And after all of that long-winded bit, Mr. Camoli, if you would like to proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Nice to see the board tonight, as well as Alvaro. Thank you very much for a super job at helping our office get through this process. We really appreciate that. So as is stated, Mr. and Mrs. Ra live at 29 Hardwick Road in Ashland, and we're looking to build for them. I'm a building contractor, 29 years in business. We're looking to add an accessory dwelling for Mike's parents, who are somewhat elderly and want to be closer to them as they move up from, I believe, Virginia. The addition itself consists of 768 square feet, plus or minus. There is a separate one-car garage as well. The addition, the accessory dwelling, consists of a rear entry, a kitchen, living room, bedroom, and bathroom. The architect that we use, Thompson Architects out of Hopkinton, we do a tremendous amount of work with them. They're very professional, and this was deliberately designed so that it's basically, aside from the new garage, it's all in the back of the house, out of view from the street, and all on one level, because the folks are in fact elderly. Again, we think it's a tastefully drawn addition. And that's about all I have to say initially.
Okay, very good. Nathan, do you have any questions at this time?
I'm hoping the applicant could just walk us through the plans that were submitted so that we can see, I am by no means an expert in this, get a sense of where the addition sits relative to the rest of the house, because I'm looking through these plans and I can't quite tell what's original and what's a proposed new addition.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I'm not alone in that respect, Nathan.
Well, thank you, and great question. Do you have this the survey from GLM, the engineering firm that did the work for us there? If you have that, actually, do you have that?
We have, I think, a 9-page document from Thompson Architects,
Yep.
and yeah, we have a 1-page survey from GLM.
Okay, great. So if you look at the one-page survey from GLM, you can see the main house, pretty long, somewhat deep. That's really right in the front center of the plan. The addition itself, if you look at, and hopefully your screen is showing it, it's a darker area. First, if you look out in the back, you'll see the shaded area where the addition is proposed, and then the new addition and driveway extension to the immediate left of the house.
Could you share your screen, sir, with us?
I don't have it on my home computer here.
Alvaro, do you have the ability to put the GLM proposed addition plan up so we can all see it, perhaps?
Yes, I'll put it on in a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, once he puts it up, I'd be, again, happy to explain what we're looking at.
Okay, can everybody see it?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
So members of the board, there you go. And Alvaro, can you zoom in on that a little bit? There you go. Okay. So if everyone can see that, okay, you can.
Oops.
Sorry about that. My computer was bugging, but now it should be fixed.
Oops. Keeps bouncing on us.
Maybe
There.
it's delayed. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. We can see that now. Thank you, Alvaro. So if you see the big block in the middle, you can see the words existing dwelling. That's their existing house. And you can also see the existing driveway off of Hardwick Road. If you look in the back left corner of the house, protruding to the rear, you can see the addition. Not to be confused with immediately to the right of the addition, there's an existing patio, and to the right of that is an existing open air deck. So that's already existing. This is just a new structure that's drawn in there. And then, like I said before, if you look to the left of the existing dwelling, you can see where the new garage is proposed to be added on. And of course, the garage, to get there, we have to connect the existing driveway to the new garage.
The kind of L-shaped shaded portion behind the white block, that's the addition.
And is the new garage going to be integrated into the existing garage? Is it basically another bay on what's there?
Yes, and it will not be accessible from the addition. They have to go through all part of the house to get to the garage. So it'll just be a fourth bay on the garage.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Rye, your voice wasn't really clear, so I wasn't able to understand what you said.
Sorry, can you hear me better now?
That's
Yes.
much better.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, the garage will be an extension of our current garage. And for my in-laws to get to the garage, they will have to go through our house. There's no doorway from their addition into the garage. They have to come in through our house, through the mudroom, and then out. Because it's connected through our mudroom.
So are we actually looking at two projects then, an accessory dwelling and an addition on the garage?
Not really. Well, I mean, I guess technically yes, because the new garage doesn't lead anyone into the new accessory dwelling. It's just an extension of the existing garage on the home.
Oh. Are you able to pull up page A1 of the 9-page architectural drawings?
Yes, I can do that. Give me 1 second. Which page? Sorry.
Page A1.
A1.
It's the second. It's the next one after the cover page. There you go.
So on this page, you can see the office right there at the front in the lower right-hand corner. That's the existing house. Right behind that, you can see the mudroom and a half bath. That's the existing house, and the mudroom is also our laundry room. And then we have a back door there that goes down the stairs to that patio that was in the back. So that already exists, and we will be connected to them through the laundry room. So they'll have access to our laundry room and our mudroom and our house in that area, and then we'll share that back doorway.
And does the 700 something square feet that you quoted include the garage space, or is that in addition?
It's in addition. So the 768 is
just the living area?
correct.
Okay.
So then you can see where the kitchen is, the kitchen island, and then there's a living space, a walk-in closet, the bedroom, and the bathroom off the back of the garage there. That's the addition.
All right. I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Stu, questions?
Yes, while we're on this diagram, could you show the exterior exit that the in-laws would have to the outside, not going through the mudroom and the garage?
Yes, if you can't see it on the screen, we'd have to.
It's on page A4.
Yeah,
Do you want the elevation view or the floor plan view?
you can stop that one. That's good. A4. There's a second means of egress right there. You see on the left side, there's a patio door. So there's really three means of egress technically. I mean, you've got the stairway going down to the back patio, the entrance into the existing mudroom / laundry room, and this patio door here that leads to, or will lead to, some sort of a walkway.
Yeah, right now it just goes to the backyard.
Right. Well, that would be one of my concerns. Would there be a viable walkway along with, structures for supporting the folks to actually get in, or?
Yeah. So we're planning to put a sidewalk that will go around to the garage and to the driveway. A patio paver sidewalk.
Would that be a good choice in terms of, let's say, God forbid, your in-laws would have to have, wheelchair access or something like that? Would you be able to use that type of help
There's not
on the
much
patio pavers? Would it be smooth enough? And
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the elevation
There's
is
not
very,
much elevation
it's
change
flat
between
there.
the driveway and where that entrance would be. And to get from the garage to our main house, it's only 2 steps right now, which we could probably reconfigure if we had to build some type of ramp as well.
okay, so you have like handicap access, planned out, or it would fit into this design?
If
Yes.
we needed to, yeah, that's why we decided to put the French doors there, because that way he won't have to go down the stairs in the back. He can come out that side door and walk around without having to go downstairs.
Okay, that was one of my concerns.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
have no
Mike,
further.
just
No.
so you know, Mike's father is 89 and his mom is 85. And so
86.
86. So we've thought out this pretty well.
Right. That's why the single level and, designing the bathroom so that it could be wheelchair accessible if necessary.
Fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I do have a few questions, and I want to just sort of make sure that all of the requirements of section 7.6 of our zoning act are covered. I know we talked about the separate ingress and egress, which you just talked about, and that would be the patio entranceway. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay. And there has to also be a connection between the existing house, which would be where you're living, and the new accessory unit. And that is, if I look correctly on Form A1, as you said, that's down by the mudroom, and it connects the mudroom into the kitchen in the new accessory unit. Am I reading that plan correctly?
Yes,
That's
you are.
correct.
Yep.
Okay. One of the provisions in the act is that the square footage of the new unit can't exceed 25% of the existing unit, or 800 square feet, whichever is greater. And I guess you said it was 768 square feet, so you'd be coming in just under the 800 square feet. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay, and that doesn't include the garage, the additional garage space.
Correct, because that's the garage, of course, is unconditioned space.
Right. Okay. And with respect to water and sewage, there has to be adequate provision made for that. In looking at the town residential property record card, it looks like there's town water and also town sewer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Does your house have central air conditioning?
Yes.
And is the new unit going to be included in that central air conditioning unit, or is there going to be a separate central air unit for that?
Yeah, there's a separate HVAC system for the accessory dwelling, really for 2 reasons. On the customer's side, for comfort. On the construction side, really an A and a B reason. A, it would be too taxing for the existing system. And B, with the newest energy codes, the accessory dwelling, it's actually required now to have its own HVAC unit.
Where is that going to be located on the property?
We haven't just officially decided. I mean, if it's, we have one of two choices, and this will be something that the RAS will have to decide in time. We're either going to do mini splits or we're going to do just a typical ductwork system. Either way, the condenser is very small, and it'll be out back behind the addition. The one single condenser. And it's a small one, probably 2.5 feet square.
Okay. Have you talked to any of your neighbors about what you're proposing to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
And any concerns that any of them may have expressed?
They've not expressed
No.
any to us, no.
Okay, good. I drove by the neighborhood today, and it's certainly a lovely neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, is there anything else? Given the age of your parents, I'm assuming that there's not going to be significant traffic added to the neighborhood.
No, none at all.
Okay. With respect to impacts on the natural environment, I know you had to go before the Conservation Commission to get approval for what you wanted to do, and trying to decipher WPA Form 5 is an interesting process, but it looks like they granted you approval, and obviously if we were to grant a special permit, that one of the conditions would be that you had to comply with that. Okay. I don't have anything further at this point. Nathan or Stu, any further questions?
No, I have nothing further.
Stu?
None here.
Okay. Then why don't we open the hearing up for public comment, and if any member of the public wishes to be heard, please. Mr. DeSona, you don't raise your hand. You know how to use the hand on the screen. You're an experienced participant in this. Mr. DeSoni, we will recognize you for public comment.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Mark Sony, 49 Hawthorne Road. And I want to give the full credit to Mr. and Mrs. Ra for doing this with their parents, because it's worthwhile to know that the name will carry on with respect for the house. It's going to have the parents' signature on it. And okay, so what I want to ask is about the porch patio. It's going to be good for 3 seasons: fall, summer, and spring. Would it be ready for them in case they're there for the winter? Is there going to be access for that? That's my only question.
I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't quite understand the question. Is there going to be?
I'll say it plainly. What they want to put up, open space outside, is it ready to be year-round use?
The addition will be for year-round use, yes. The deck that we have existing is, we use it, it's just an existing deck that comes off the back of our house, but the addition will be for year-round. occupancy.
Yeah, and in terms of weather, year-round use, Mr. Scott, the building commissioner, has reviewed the plans, and everything is in compliance with ingress and egress and all of that stuff.
Okay, is there gonna be a sort of overhang roof or anything to give cover?
Well, there'll be an overhang soffit at both entry exit points.
And for plain users, this would be it. Plain, what is socket?
So a fascia and soffit, if you can picture on your house where the gutter is, the gutter attaches to the fascia, and the piece underneath, it's about a foot. That's called the soffit. So it does provide some protection from the elements when you try to get in and out of the door.
So it's an outdoor overhang.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Is there a motion to close public comment, please?
So moved.
And is there a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, I, Jonathan Feather, vote in favor of closing public comment.
I, Nathan Band, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, also vote in favor of closing public comment.
Okay. We now usually go not into deliberations, but into discussion while the hearing remains open, so that we can ask any questions as needed. I will go first. I see no reason why we shouldn't approve this. It seems to meet all the qualifications of the statute 7.6 under accessory family dwelling units. I know it's something that's gotten a fair amount of publicity in the Commonwealth in the last year or two about increasing housing availability, and the Ashland zoning bylaws have permitted this for a number of years now, and we have granted applications. Obviously, we would put conditions on it, which we would discuss, but to me, it seems like it's something that we would grant. Nathan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this meets the requirements of the town zoning bylaws. I think it's consistent with our past practice to grant a special permit here. I think, and this may be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but when we talk about drafting the decision, I think I view this as two separate projects. I still think it's the garage and the accessory building. And I think the garage is, as a matter of right, they could build, right? It's really just the accessory building piece of it that we're approving. Right,
that's what I've seen. The accessory dwelling unit, the garage is not really
not relevant to
an accessory dwelling unit.
Right.
I don't think. Okay. Stuart, your thoughts?
No, I agree. I would also be in favor of the special permit as presented.
Okay. Then what we normally will do, Mr. and Mrs. Ra and Mr. Kamoli, is we will ask Alvaro to draft a decision in accordance with what we've talked about this evening, and come back at our next meeting to review the decision and to take a vote to approve it. And our next meeting would be 2 weeks from tonight, which would be September 26th. You don't have to be present, but you're more than welcome to, obviously. And Mr. Kamoli, the same to you. I do think it would be helpful for us at this point to just go over and make sure we have the I's dotted and the T's crossed for Alvaro to put into the decision. And looking at section 7.6, obviously we would put in the usual conditions or restrictions. We're only an additional family dwelling unit can't exceed 4 people, can't be rented out, et cetera, just basically the qualifications of the restrictions in 7.6. And then under section 9.3.2, the criteria for special permits, the decision will also have to contain findings on that. And we have to have a written determination that the adverse effects of the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts to the town or the neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and of the proposal in relation to that site. Obviously, previous decisions for accessory dwelling units have included language to meet that requirement. And then with respect to the 6 specific categories, community needs served by the proposal would be maintaining housing or creating housing for families to stay together, traffic flow and safety, including parking and loading, would be no impact, adequacies of utilities and other public services, it's serviced by town water and sewer, neighborhood character and social structures. As the application states, it's a single family neighborhood, and which the architecture would certainly seem to fit within that character. Impacts on the natural environment, apart from what's found in the Conservation Commission, there would not seem to be any. And potential fiscal impact, including impact on town services, tax base, and employment. Your tax bill is going to be raised. There'll be certain construction employment, architectural employment, et cetera, which is a good thing, temporary, and there would seem to be little impact on town services. So anybody, Nathan or Stu, do you want to add anything to that for Alvaro to make sure he puts in the draft decision?
I think
No,
you
I
go.
think that's comprehensive.
Okay. Alvaro, anything else you need from us before you start to draft the decision as far as findings that we need to make?
No, I think I'm all set as well. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to continue the hearing to our next meeting on September 26th.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that one.
Okay.
I, John Trefethen, vote in favor.
I, Nathan Band, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
You know, we had our voting all organized so well, and we just went boom, boom, boom. And with Brian not being here tonight, it's totally thrown off our timing.
It's just me and Stu in a stare down every time we have to make a motion, you know, waiting for the other one to blink.
Well, I don't know. Now that you've risen to the authentic position of clerk, we need to make sure that you're not scared by making a motion, but that's all right. Very good. With that nonsense out of the way, we are done for this evening with your matter, Mr. and Mrs. Ra. Mr. Kamali, thank you for participating. As I said, we'll be back on September 26th to finalize the decision and vote in favor. Then the process is, once that's done, we have to sign the decision. That sometimes can take a couple of days because we do this via Zoom, but we have to go in person to Town Hall to sign it. You'll then file it with it gets filed with the town clerk. You have to wait 20 days thereafter in case anyone appeals the decision. After that 20-day period, the decision is final, and you take it to the Registry of Deeds and record it. And I'm sure Mr. Kamoli knows the drill very well and guide you through all of that. But we are done with the hearing for this evening, and we can move on to our next item.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, folks. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
Next item on the agenda is the meeting minutes for July 25th, 2023. Alvaro sent us all a draft. I made several small changes. Alvaro, did you receive any other changes?
No, only the ones that you sent, John.
Okay. What I suggested was on page 1 of the draft, where 17 Loring Drive variance dash accept decision, I suggested that the words accept decision should be stricken. The second paragraph under that section, I suggested deleting the word meeting and substituting the word hearing was opened on July 11th because it was a hearing that was open, not the meeting. And then on page 2, on the, I guess it's like the 11th line, where it says Mr. Forrestal motioned and Mr. Bain seconded, rather than say to accept, I suggested it should be to approve the variance. And those were the only suggested changes I had made. Any discussion about those?
It sounded good to me.
Okay. Somebody wish to make a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I move to approve the minutes as amended.
I second that.
I, John Trefethen, vote in favor.
I, Nathan Band, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
Excellent. That is completed. And moving on to the final item on the agenda, staff updates and administrative matters. Alvaro, anything to report in that category?
Not updates. And just to give you a heads up, I'll be sending probably the decision by next Tuesday. Just because I'm out for a conference the next couple of days.
Well, very good. I hope you enjoy your conference.
Thank you.
Yes, Stu.
Mr. Chairman, I have a kind of an administrative item. When we go through this, when we went through the special permit, there's something that was of a concern with me. The letter from the building inspector, the planning office refers to that as a denial letter. Now, there's nothing in that letter that denies anything. I recommend that we change the nomenclature of that letter to actually be in something like an ADU approval conditions and requirements letter. Because that's what it really states in effect.
Well, but it's the application is being submitted for a building permit, which is what is being denied and referred to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Well, that's what I don't understand. We're not denying anything. No one denied anything.
Well, the building commissioner did. The building commissioner denied them a building permit for what they were proposing to do because they had to get the approval of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Exactly. So the letter should not be a denial. He should just say it should be, he should issue an ADU approval conditions and requirements letter. In other words, his letter is telling them what is the next steps in the process to get this project approved.
Well, perhaps we can talk to the building commissioner offline and see what he's comfortable with. I know his letters are a little more detailed than letters from a couple of our prior building commissioners.
Well,
But
he's just really saying, hey, folks, I've got everything that you submitted, but there's another requirement here and another condition that you have to meet. And the condition is that you have to go before the ZBA. It doesn't mean that the ultimate, project is going to be denied. I mean, that's a very scary word to use.
well, his letter told Ms. Ra, that if she felt aggrieved by his decision, she may file an appeal of his determination.
Yeah, well, he should,
So he's
that,
denying their request.
I don't read it as denying the request. And that's what I wanted to express. I don't know how the other members of the board feel about that. He's really, the way I read it is he's telling them that they have another step to follow. But he didn't take those architectural plans and say, denied. He never said anything about that. He just said, hey, you got to go through another step.
Well, the only reason they had to go through another step is because he was denying what they requested. I'm sure
No, the
he
bylaws, the
he
bylaws.
approves many building permit requests that never come before us, and that he doesn't deny.
The
Well,
bylaws,
I
the
think we should.
bylaws state that you have to go through another process for the special permit. And that
But
special,
it starts with the denial from the building commissioner of what they have filed with him. Let's talk about this with the building commissioner offline, and see how he's comfortable, what he's comfortable in doing. I must say I don't share your concerns about that, but just my 2 cents. Anything else? Nathan, anything to add, or are we all set? Not, is there a motion to adjourn? Nobody wishes to adjourn?
Nathan just requested to be admitted. I assume that there's some sort of issue going on his computer.
Oh, here he's coming back. Yeah. I think he lost his audio.
I apologize. Zoom keeps crashing for me here.
That's all right. I was asking for a motion to adjourn, but I also asked if, I think you may not have been with us when I asked if you had any comments on what Stu and I had been discussing.
My only thought on that is I think a building commissioner's denial is probably a term of art within the zoning process. And if we start calling it something else, we may run into other issues. And so maybe the issue is just the building commissioner needs to be more clear in his letter that it is a denial and that the next step is an appeal to the ZBA.
That might be a good point, to get the word denial in the letter, and that will then serve as a clear statement that it's a denial, even if he then goes on to say, this is what you need to do. Good point. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, I, John Trefethen, vote in favor.
I, Nathan Band, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
Good night, everybody. See you on the 26th. And WACA, thank you very much.
Good night, all.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.